The Champions League final is happening this evening by 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and then we have Paris Saint-Germain versus Inter Milan. And then if you talk about Paris Saint-Germain, you look at how they started the Champions League this season. They were not really the best team, and they lost some games, but they qualified, of course. And then since then they have been doing so well. If you look at what they played against Aston Villa, against Liverpool, in fact, it was really a different side that played the group stages, the league phase. And then into the knockout stages, it was actually a different PSG side. If you look at how they play, if you look at the players, if you look at Mendes, look at Hakimi, look at Dembele. Dembele was really on form from January to this moment, and then he has been scoring goals. He has been doing so well. He has been the best player, arguably the best player for PSG. Of course, you can talk about Hakimi, you can talk about some other players, but they have been doing so well. Of course, I wasn't really expecting them to crash out Liverpool, but they did, and they did it in a very special way. It was well deserving, of course. And then against Aston Villa, they crashed them out. They crashed out Arsenal. Of course, they beat Arsenal home and away, and it was really a tough game, which we expect Arsenal to at least get a win in their stadium. Of course, if they could not even get a win away from home. And then they beat Arsenal going into the final. I'm talking about Inter Milan. Inter Milan has been the underdogs. Of course, if you look at what they did 2023, they got to the finals, and then 2025, people were not really expecting them to. Of course, they were rated, but people were not really expecting them to get to the final. They were talking about Real Madrid, they were talking about Barcelona, they were talking about Liverpool, and then some other players, some other teams like that. But now we can actually, of course, nobody was really hoping that PSV actually got to the final, and nobody was really thinking that Inter was going to get to the final. But I felt like these two teams are going to be in the final. But if you say something, nobody is going to really believe what you have said. Now Inter crashed out Barcelona in a very unusual manner, and then they score every chances they see, they score, they make use of their chances, and they were very clinical, very very clinical. And then you can actually see that this game is going to be a lot. But I feel PSG is going to win. I want PSG to win, not for any other thing. I think the best team should win. PSG knows how to control the game very well. They can do so much up front. They can